What's so nice about this area, like we're probably halfway up into the Alpine, and in probably 15 minutes we could be starting up one of the ridges. You know, it doesn't take, where we're from, we usually have to invest, what, 2 hours, usually get through the forest to get up to the subalpine. Here it's like 15 minutes.
Gorgeous lakeside camping here at Strawberry Flats Campground in Muncho Lake, Provincial Park.
So if you're to stay here, gorgeous water, nice beach, amazing views this way. But from your picnic table, if you don't want to look at the beautiful water, look at the view you get behind. Just amazing. Just a short hike today. We're going to try and beat the rain that's coming in the valley behind us. Beautiful. Just exploring what we think is a trail to one of these ridges, probably the one ahead of us. Alright, we're about as far as we're going to go today. We've got a warm log cabin waiting for us, and a couple of long hot showers. This is an alluvial fan, so
Yeah.
you know, you feel so remote. There's literally no one else here. I think a week would not be an inappropriate amount of time just to do this Stone Mountain, Muncho Lake area, and you could just fill your day with alpine or meadows. Just amazing.
It's cozy. There's a TV.
And a big bathroom shower. It really rained last night. We had, not constantly, but when it did rain, it was huge downpours. And even in our log cabin, I guess it has an aluminum roof. And,
We heard the rain.
yes, but it was not disconcerting at all, because even though it's a small, cozy log cabin, I believe they described that one, it was very nice and toasty, and really enjoyed it. Like, we really enjoyed. We'd go back and stay in that same cabin again in a minute.
Oh yeah, it was great. Great experience. And it was nice to just relax indoors when it was raining and didn't have to worry about being cold.
And there are some other cabins that we had options for. They were a little more expensive. One had quite a nice view, but it was actually less of a cabin and more like a shared building. You each got 1/3 of the building, and we just really wanted that sort of more rustic feel and sense of isolation that a log cabin, and we've never been in a log cabin before, so it was kind of fun. So this morning I was under the van. I should have actually filmed it, but our power step on the driver's side, where we've had this happen a couple times. It comes out and then it was banging, like bang, 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 and then it would lock, and then the same thing when it would go back in. So underneath there's a cover, plastic cover that you can remove. And I looked underneath, and what it seemed to be was some of the nuts had come loose on one of the arms. There's two basically steel arms in there that cross and then cross again when they open up. So I just tightened a screw on one and a nut on the other, and that seemed to pretty much get rid of all the noise. It's not making any noise right now.
Yeah, and it's fine.
I think it was just being on a lot of rough roads, it shakes it loose, and if it does start to make some noise, I'll just have to go back underneath and tighten it up again.
It's Friday today, and we do have a reservation at Liard Hot Springs for Saturday night.
So we're going to have to make a decision on what we're going to do, but what we just finished was the
Salt Lick hike.
And as it says on the sign, the best time for seeing any of the mountain goats would be either at dawn or dusk. This is neither. We're kind of in the middle of the day. But it was nice. There wasn't anyone else on the trail when we were there, although another cars just pulled in. And some beautiful views. And the weather's,
beautiful views,
weather's better than we expected.
We had to come back here to the McDonald campground at Muncho Lake. It's just, we fell in love with it yesterday when we drove by, and we really like that site number 14, which is a few sites further down, but this is pretty good too. And it's just so beautiful here. Now let's hope the weather holds. But look at this. This is unbelievable. What a beautiful site. Take you along to the beach. Can you get any better than this? I don't think so.
We have some
Instant
noodles with some probably canned green beans and some field roast sausage, a vegan sausage. And still a spectacular view. Alright, I'm out for a little hike right across from where we're camped at Muncho Lake. Mickey's staying back at the van. She's got some work on the next video she's doing, actually. There's no trail here. It's another one of those alluvial fans. And there is some terrain where they've built a berm up just to keep water from rushing down here. Other than that, there's really nothing here. So it just has a basic gear, but I am carrying bear spray and also an air horn. Mickey insisted I take both. And I am carrying a satellite beacon with me so that if anything ever happens and I can't get out, I can signal. And somebody would eventually launch hopefully soon, an emergency rescue. But we're a long way from anywhere, so it would likely take quite a bit of time. That's my direction. I may go up that slope. We'll see how easy it is or isn't. Otherwise, I'm just going to head up this canyon for a little ways and then turn around. Signs of civilization. My route up, I have a couple options from here. I could scoot up that little saddle and then work my way up either the gully, and probably have to come out for halfway up the mountain and then zigzag up, or I could go back a little and work my way up the slope. I think either would work, but I don't believe I've got enough time today. So I think I'm going to instead just carry on to the end of the canyon, because I've got about 30 minutes before my turnaround point in order to get back home by the time I promised Mickey I'd be back at. And if I was to do this again, I would start on the other side of that creek. It's just hard to find a place to cross. I've crossed a couple tributaries, maybe up here because it splits, but it's hard to cross it unless I want to get wet, and I don't particularly. One foot in. So I had to climb up at least a little ways, and my other camera ran out of power, so I swapped to my phone. You get an idea of how beautiful it is here. I had maybe another hour, hour and a half, I could get to the summit. Just straight up this gully in the middle. That's where I came from. So beautiful up here. River down below. And my way out. I'm going to stay on the right this time. There might even be part of a trail. It's not showing on the map I have, but you know, maybe I'll come out, hit the road. There's actually a trailhead there. Not a trail, but an old stream bed that's much easier and faster to walk out on. Almost out, but the creek bent around. I could have seen that if I checked my map a bit more closely. So, bare feet. I don't want to get soaked. I don't want my pants soaked, and I don't want my shoes soaked. Okay, I found the Alaska Highway. I just have to figure out where we're camped. Somewhere over there. Where I was, just straight up that canyon. Beautiful, weather's improved, at least over the mountains. All right, I'm back. I scoped out the place for our wilderness cabin.
So how was the adventure?
It was fun. Adventures are always fun. So I just went up straight up, actually, straight up the valley, and went about 3.5 kilometers up. I went up on the right-hand side, kind of the center of the right-hand side of the alluvial fan, and then I went up just a little bit of elevation. If I'd had a couple of hours, I probably could have done the summit. But it was just gorgeous. No one back there. Had to cross the creek several times. When I came back on the other side. It was just easier. It wasn't actually a trail either, but the rocks were a lot smaller, and so I probably shaved 20 minutes on the way back, just because it was easier to walk. But it's just gorgeous. Bit of rain, bit of sun. Yeah, it's amazing back there. And like I say, another couple hours, either farther up the gully or up the side of the mountain, would be a wonderful adventure.
Oh, adventure part 2. He still has enough energy for a paddle. Call him crazy.
I wanted to choose between paddling or doing a hike, but I got back fast enough. I think I can do both. There's a beautiful little island over there, very small. I saw it when I was coming down. So I'll paddle there and back. I don't know if I'm going to beat the rain. Looking a little stormy, not too bad. So we're hiked up there. A few other RVs in here now. Huge spaces between. It's gorgeous. Okay, let's see if I can get to that island before it rains. There we go. Beautiful little island. Time to explore. And so we're just over there. Okay, let's see what's here. Pretty. You might be able to hear one of the seaplanes about to take off. So nice. Water's so clear. Okay, hopefully my boat's still around here. A little bit of a swim otherwise. I'll be waving at people that are fishing or the seaplanes going by. Still hear the highway. It's never that busy though. One of the things we noticed when we drove out here was how little traffic. Big spaces, few people. Which is actually something that we both really enjoy. Probably me so more than Mickey, but... Okay, turn around, head home, or at least head back to the van, have some dinner.
So, have you had enough adventure for one day yet?
Almost. Another Barkerville Brewing Company. The Sluice Juice Hazy Pale Ale once again.
Okay, tonight for dinner I made one pot pasta actually with Prego sauce and some vegan ground, and I just put some water over the pasta and let it just cook. Not too much water, so it just absorbs. And then I added the sauce and the vegan ground and let it cook again, and there you go, nice and simple.
I have a little cheese, salad, and not too shabby a view.
Yes, and that way too.
That way's a little more rainy looking.
So we're on the boardwalk, and that way is the hot springs, and we're in the park right now, and it's pouring rain.
It looks like the temperatures of the hot springs range from a high of 36, pretty much where there's probably the most people consolidated, and then it cools down to as low as 12 degrees if you go down to the marshes, just at the beginning. So it's
You can smell the sulfur.
a little bit. It's not strong. It's very pleasant. We're going to head back to the van, and then we'll prep ourselves for coming here later.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hot springs are open from 7 in the morning until, I think, 10 o'clock at night. And the campsite is completely circled with electric fence to keep the campers in their campsites. And then
It's like a zoo, but the humans are the animals.
yes, that's right. The animals get to parade outside on the nice little walkway and watch us, I think. And then there's a gate where you walk through in here, and this area isn't gated, but I'm guessing their concern is simply in this area for grizzlies potentially getting into tents, and people who leave their coolers, food, and stuff like that out. So we're gonna head back now
It's yeah.
in the rain.
Yeah, and the Hanging Gardens portion of that trail past the main alpha pool, I think, is closed right now.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, it's locked up. Yeah.
Okay,
Bye.
back in the rain. We did actually get to spend some time in the hot spring, but we didn't film it, primarily because it wasn't crowded, but there was probably 20 people there and children, and so it just didn't feel appropriate to be filming. So we can share some photos that we have from the other side of the hot springs on the night we arrived when we were looking at it. And it's still very rustic. There is a change room building, and in the water itself, there are a couple places where you can sit on some blocks, but otherwise it's just up against the forest and it's quite nice. We went farther down into a more rustic area. It's really just like a river running in, or a small creek running down into the forest, and the water gets cooler as you go, but it's kind of neat. It was dark. It was around sundown when we were there, but we've got some video that we'll share, and we hope you enjoy that as well. This is farther down the pool. Water's a little cooler. This camera's going to struggle with light in here. It's about 8:30, so the sun's just set. I think this goes for a long way. Very narrow. I wanted to come down before there's any other people, but it still continues. The temperature here is something like, I'd say, a lukewarm bath, maybe a little warmer than that. The water coming in off the sides is chilly. It's gorgeous.
Good morning, everyone. So we just left the Liard Hot Springs Provincial Park, and we had a really great long soak in the hot springs last night. It was great. It was Saturday night, so the campground actually ended up becoming full. There were some spots available when we arrived, but we arrived pretty early, and we had a reservation, so that was fine. But yeah, the hot springs very, very popular. Lots of people there. It was almost like a social spot, you know, everybody's chatting and enjoying themselves and relaxing.
From a distance.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to keep that sort of 6 or 2 meter difference, which is good.
Yeah.
It was nice. The campground's nice. The campsites are big. They're pleasant enough compared to where we're at Muncho Lake. Yeah, they're not even in the same league as Muncho Lake, but they're typical BC Provincial Park campground, so pleasant enough to stay at.
Obviously, the weather affected our experience a little bit. I'm sure it would be a lot nicer if it was sunny. But it's a great place to stop by just to help you relax and just enjoy yourself. So that we accomplished that.
Yeah, we got to go back to the van and
yeah,
smell slightly like sulfur the entire night.
rotten eggs. So now we're heading back south, so it's our turnaround point, and we're probably going to try to make pretty good time. We'll see if there's anything exciting along the way. Yeah, so hope you enjoy our return journey with us. We finally got to see the bison, the wood bison. We were hoping to see them on the way out to Liard Hot Springs, but missed out, and then we got to see them on the way back, so very happy about that. Fresh snow on the mountains. Good morning, everyone. So we're actually back where we started at Lac-La-Hache Provincial Park, and we just basically beelined it back from Liard Hot Springs. Gordon drove probably like almost 1,400 kilometers in 2 days. So that's incredible. He worked really hard.
Once we've decided to go home, our sort of homing instincts kick in. So same thing when you're hiking sometimes or backpacking.
Hope you enjoyed this journey with us. We certainly just loved it. And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already, and look out for more adventures, and we will see you next time.
You know, we're already planning a similar trip for next year, maybe a little longer in some places.
Yeah, we missed the Stewart-Cassiar highway,
Yeah,
so we
next
definitely have to do that as well.
But longer at some of the places we've been.
Yes. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.